Hey, hey, hey. Time for another out of this world story from rSpace. My fiancé cheated on me. At least that is what I think. But she and her family think it is not a big deal because she stopped before anything happened. My 32 fiancé, 32, went on a road trip with her friends. I know all the friends she went with, and I'm pretty good friends with some of them. While on this road trip, she called me just to let me know everything was fine and that she and her friends would go to a club. The next day in the morning, my fiancé's friend Stephanie called me and told me she saw my fiancé go upstairs with a guy. According to her, she had been to this club before and there is a hookup spot upstairs. This is what she told me. After 5 to 10 minutes, my fiancé came down, and when she asked him what was going on, my fiancé said nothing. So she got suspicious and went upstairs and saw this guy absolutely wasted. After this call, I called my fiancé and asked her about this. She told me she was drunk and messed up, but nothing happened and she got out of the situation as soon as she realized what was happening. To me, it categorizes as cheating, and on that phone call, I told her I was breaking up with her. I didn't really listen to her after this and hung up. The same day, but later, her family came over because my fiancé called them and explained her side of the story to them. They acknowledged that what she did was messed up, but since she stopped, this is salvageable and I should not throw away 10 years like that. The only reason I'm thinking about this is that they were genuinely comforting, aware, and not at all intimidating. Stephanie called me at night again and told me that my fiancé is extremely mad at her and trying to get her kicked out of the group for being a snitch. I think Steph did me a solid here and I'm grateful to her even though she is her best friend. She told me. Right now, I don't know if I should dump her or not. The point where she took everything seems like cheating to me. The act itself is just an artifact and the things leading up to it are just as important. I know for a fact that I cannot trust her. Even if there is some trust left, it is not enough to be engaged to her, let alone getting married to her in January of next year. She messaged me saying that I'm making it a bigger deal than it is and that I should be grateful that she is this aware even when drunk to not cheat on me. Getting drunk is a freaking choice, and I'll not really take it as an excuse. She's on her way back and I don't know if I should just end it or try to work it out. Any advice? Update. If you are wondering, yes, I have free time. I'm on sick leave for my job. Getting to the point. I did a lot of thinking last night. Even though I made it a post, it was more to validate what I already did. Maybe because I was scared to be freaking off a long-term relationship. After thinking about it and the events that happened afterward, I feel like I'm making the best choice for myself. I talked to both my ex-fiancé and Steph, and it solidified my initial response of breaking up. The morning when I and my ex were on the phone, she was convinced that I was being unreasonable and my motive was to ruin her road trip. This tone persisted throughout the conversation. I still listened to her and she admitted she screwed up, but it was not her fault. She just got drunk too much, so I can't really be mad at her. She also repeated that she stopped it even when drunk, so she's actually very faithful. When I asked her about the dude and his state, she never answered me. She also really didn't answer when I asked her what she was doing with someone who was passed out. In my mind, she being unable to answer these fact-based questions means she didn't get her story straight and think it all the way through. Last time when we spoke, she told me we can talk about it in detail when she comes back, which did indicate to me she was trying to fix it. But when I asked her today if she was on her way back, she said come back in 3 weeks and then we can talk about it, and I misunderstood her. F that. This kind of sealed the deal for me. There was no mention of Steph in this conversation. After that, I talked to Stephanie. My ex and her group moved forward with the road trip without her and didn't even tell her. She found out today when she woke up that all the others had left. Kinda effed up in my opinion. I also asked her about the incident and she told me that she made everyone aware of the hookup spot beforehand, so my fiancé knew what she was doing. Right now, I have many things going well for me, including my career. I work for a major airline and got into a high-level management position right before coronavirus. I don't want stuff like this holding me back, so cutting it off entirely seems like the way to go. Also, this is actually good for both of us. I can be in a proper relationship and she can go to hookup spots, stalk wasted dudes, and not do anything. Looks like a win-win to me. The funny thing is, at the very start, I wanted an open relationship, but she shut it down. But years later, when in a monogamous relationship, she wants to pull crap like this. I did hook Steph up with a return ticket so she can get back home comfortably and safely. In the afternoon, after her flight, she came over to talk about everything. I told her I was fine and thanked her for doing me a solid. 1.5 to 2 hours in, she sent me a message of her Snapchat location map and asked me what she was doing in our home. I told her she just came over to check if I was doing fine because to most people, infidelity is a big deal, and I also corrected her that it was my home and she would move out when she gets back. Now I just have to focus on myself for now and wait to see if I live to regret this decision. Also, for people in the last post asking me, yes, to me, that was cheating. And to 3-4 people, F you. You can't tell me how I'm supposed to feel my own emotions. Only I decide that. A real man doesn't feel emotion, my butt. First response coming from Houston Council. Congratulations for standing up for yourself. It sounds like your ex's family dealt with this issue more maturely than your ex. If she and the relationship were worth fighting to repair, she would have prioritized that and would have come straight home to try and repair it. The pattern of truth creep is worrisome. 1. Nothing happened. 2. Something happened, but it wasn't bad. 3. Something bad happened, but it wasn't my fault. 4. It was my fault that something bad happened, but you must forgive me. 5. You and Stephanie are the real villains in my creeping quasi-confession. Don't second-guess yourself. This was cheating. Here's a shout out to Stephanie, this year's winner of the No Good Deed Goes Unpunished award. Fatboy Slim chimes in, sorry and at the same time, good for you. Just make sure you pack her things in garbage plastic bags and drop them at her parents' house. Make sure you change the lock. This crap ain't over for her. The OP responds, I need to give her notice of at least 14 days. After that, she is her parents' problem. Zortlord has one last thought. I, after that, talked to Stephanie. My ex and her group moved forward with the road trip without her, and didn't even tell her. She found out today when she woke up that all the others had left. Kinda effed up in my opinion. Absolutely effed up. Sounds like everyone in that group, except Steph, is planning on doing a bunch of questionable things on this trip. If the other women are in monogamous relationships, you may want to warn their partners. Also, sounds like Steph may need a new friend group. Invite her along to your friend things and hang out with her. She sounds like a genuinely good human, bro. Good job dodging a bullet. Sorry it took so long to find out she wasn't a keeper. Moving on. Found out my wife had an emotional affair with her work partner. My wife is a military police officer. She spends roughly 8 to 10 hours a day in a car alone with her boss or partner. Last month, I found text messages between them that showed that they had fell in love with each other. Though the who conversation, that was about 5 days long, they were very specific on not taking it to the physical level because they're both married. However, they are clearly in love. I confronted her and she said she will break it off. She claims they ended it and that she now works in the office. Only sees him for about an hour a day. She got us going to marriage counseling every week now. Where she stands is she admits she fell for him, but it wasn't intentional. It just happened. She claims she wants to give our marriage a chance to recover, but she needs to grieve this other guy first to be fully invested in us. Am I crazy to stay? We never fight. She's still very sweet to me, but my gut is screaming danger, danger. A. Ethan V chimes in first. She certainly wouldn't want to ruin his marriage, but ruining yours is okay? She claims she wants to give our marriage a chance to recover, but she needs to grieve this other guy first. Okay, this is where I draw the hard line. In no way should you sit there and wait around while she decides to grieve the relationship she should not have created. No, she didn't set out to find an emotional affair. But let's be real, as adults, there's many people we encounter in our lives that we connect with well. But as the connection and communication progress, we make decisions as to what conversations are appropriate for a platonic relationship. We also decide who we truly let into our heart. Let's call it what it is, a series of hundreds of choices where she chose to continue the development of their relationship knowing full well it was betraying your marriage. Your marriage is at a critical juncture. After all the betrayal and lies, she wants you to sit around and be patient while she grieves the affair partner slowly. She doesn't want to do it quickly and succinctly and go no contact with him because it will cause severe pain for her. What about the severe pain she's caused you? She's being selfish and self-centered and asking you to put your self-esteem in the trash while you wait around for her? Heck no. She brought all of this onto your marriage without your consent. Now she gets to decide what happens? No. It's do or die time, wife. If you really want this marriage, you need to do 1,000 times better. AP needs to suffer the consequences. Why is she protecting him and not you? Affairs thrive in secrecy, and telling his wife is important to him being accountable to his own wife to prevent further relapses. I wouldn't trust her either if this is how she thinks reconciliation should be. She's protecting the affair partner and herself, and everyone else just has to suck it up. Sad Second 9646 chimes in. Please tell the guy's wife. She has a right to know about things that affect her marriage. She can tell you anything she's noticed, such as, Oh, on last Tuesday he said he had to go in early, and you could figure out that your wife went in early as well. Basically compare notes. I don't know if it's possible, but can she get out of his area? Why is it that suddenly she is not 8 to 10 hours in a car with him? Do you believe that? Any contact is risky. It's like embers from a campfire. Just a little oxygen, contact, and they can reignite everything. And no marriage counseling for now. The marriage didn't cheat. She did. It didn't just happen. Majin Game 40 says, she doesn't want to be reported to the higher-ups. Yeah, she said she doesn't want him to get in trouble because it would ruin this other guy's family. He has a wife and 2 kids. Third Dukes of Stags has the last comment. He should have thought about that before doing what he did.